In this video, we will examine the differences between flat and half-hitch knots. We will first consider the flat square knot. Shown here is the performance of an overhand throw, followed by tightening of this throw. Note that the black and white strands are pulled in directions parallel to the surface of the wooden board, highlighted here in green. This results in the first throw, seen at the center of the wooden board, being laid down flat. An underhand throw is then performed and tightened. Note that the black strand forms a loop and that the two ends of the white strand exit the knot on the same side of this loop, that is, the side that is closer to us. Similarly, the white strand forms a loop and the two ends of the black strand exit the knot on the same side of that loop, that is, the side away from us. We will next consider the flat granny knot. Shown here is the performance of an overhand throw followed by tightening such that the first throw is laid down flat. The flat throw is parallel to the surface of the wooden board, highlighted again in green. A second overhand throw is performed and tightened. The black strand again forms a loop, but now the ends of the white strand exit the knot on opposite sides of this loop. That is, the white strand on the top exits the knot on the side of the loop away from us, and the white strand on the bottom exits the knot on the side of the loop close to us. Similarly, the white strand forms a loop, and the ends of the black strand exit the knot on opposite sides of this loop. This is in contrast to the square knot, where the black strands exited the knot on the same side of the white loop. We will next consider half-hitch knots. Like flat knots, half-hitch knots can have a square or granny configuration. However, half-hitch knots can also be tied with the use of a single post or with the use of alternating posts, which result in different knot configurations. We will first consider single post half-hitch square knots. An overhand throw is performed and the throw is tightened by holding constant tension on the black strand like a post, while the white strand is pushed down to the surface being tied to. We see that the white strand has been laid down parallel to the surface of the wooden board. However, now the black strand is roughly perpendicular to the surface of the wooden board. This is in contrast to the flat throw, where both the white and black strands were parallel to the surface of the wooden board. The recognition of this difference between the flat and half-hitch throw is a critical concept. An underhand throw is then performed and tightened, again holding constant tension on the black strand as a post. In a half-hitch square knot, the white strand forms a loop, and the two ends of the white strand exit the knot on the same side of this loop, here the side away from us. Note that in the half-hitch square knot, the black strand passes through the knot largely unaffected, while the white strand forms two loops about it. This is in contrast to the flat square knot, where both the white and black strands formed loops about one another. We will next consider the single post half-hitch granny knot. Two overhand throws are performed and tightened with constant tension on the black strand as a post, while the white strand is pushed down to the surface of the wooden board. The white strand forms a loop, and the two ends of the white strand exit the knot on opposite sides of this loop. This is in contrast to the single post half-hitch square knot, where the two ends of the white strand exited the knot on the same side of the loop. We will now consider knots that utilize alternating posts. We will first consider a half-hitch square knot that utilizes alternating posts. An overhand throw is performed and tightened in the same fashion as it was for the first throw of the single post half-hitch square knot. An underhand throw is then performed. However, in contrast to the single post half-hitch square knot, greater tension is then applied to the white strand, which becomes the new post strand, and the black strand is tightened using the left hand down to the surface of the wooden board. In the first throw, the white strand loops around the black strand, which serves as a post. However, for the second throw, the black strand wraps around the white strand, which serves as the post. This is in contrast to the single post half-hitch square knot, for which the black strand served as the post for both throws. We will next consider the half-hitch granny knot using alternating posts. An overhand throw is performed and tightened in a fashion similar to the first throw for the single post half-hitch granny knot. A second overhand throw is performed and greater tension is then applied to the white strand, which becomes the new post, while the left hand pushes the black strand down to the surface of the wooden board. Similar to the half-hitch square knot with alternating posts, for the first throw, the white strand wraps around the black strand, which serves as a post, whereas for the second throw, the black strand loops about the white strand, which serves as the post. Shown here is the difference in configuration between the half-hitch granny knot with alternating posts and the half-hitch square knot with alternating posts. While it is helpful for learning purposes to consider flat and half-hitch throws as entities in a binary classification, the reality is that they represent the ends of a spectrum of throw configurations. We demonstrate this concept here by tightening a throw such that it is laid down flat, followed by the application of greater tension to the black strand. The direction of this tension is moved from one that is parallel to the surface of the wooden board to one that is perpendicular to the surface of the wooden board. As this change in direction of tension occurs, a spectrum of throw configurations can be observed as the throw is converted from a clearly flat throw into a clearly half-hitch throw.